Hey guys, welcome back. DeFi, degens, drip, and farm for property. I'm your host, Drip Coach, dropping knowledge bombs on all Forex Shark related projects. In today's video, we got a no fluff, no BS, straightforward, straight shooting approach on the drip price. Seen a lot in my comments. Everybody is basically asking. They use different phrases. So how long will drip last? How low will drip go? What's the future of drip? Bunch of comments, right? Even in the groups that I'm in privately, people asking the same thing. And I'm gonna put this in kind of a, as we like to say in the military, a shit sandwich. So the good, the bad, and the good. And then I'm gonna break it down with the cold hard facts, as you guys know I do, and of course a little spreadsheet as well. So let's dive right into the data, because that's what's most important. So first and foremost, unrelated to specifically drip, but is the fact that the animal farm is up and running and has been slowly increasing TVL as well. Now, this, as I already showed you guys in the video, doesn't directly support drip, but it frees up Forex and the team to now focus on other things. And if you understand what Forex is doing, this is an iteration, right? He had to create something like this before borrow and lending could actually be done with drip and any of the other tokens. This is essentially a borrow and lending platform. You are staking tokens on it. They are being lended out on the back end for rehypothecation. He's also going to be doing the single asset staking for rehypothecation. So it's finding immutable ways to add true utility to the ecosystem. So yes, drip has suffered in it, but this was Forex's way of designing something and that is sustainable and true utility. So long term, now the farm will be here forever. And that's immutable contracts as long as BSC is here and as long as PancakeSwap is here, because we're tied to those two. So this is super important that it is working and operational and does provide long-term utility. Next up, kind of positive, but I know a lot of you are going to have negative taste in your mouth for this. It is the Garden contract balance. So for me, I feel like this is kind of good news because the Garden is actually back down to the levels it was around July and June timeframe. So we had this drop here in June, 380s. We bounced up right before the farm to 510, but technically the 380 to 400 range is where we were bouncing around for a good 3 months. And we're back down there now. And I see it holding back at this floor. It hasn't played out yet, but to see the Garden back down and listening to other whales that have already posted content on this, they're talking about going back to a more sustainable hydration and withdrawal strategy. So I see potentially the Garden balance to start ticking back up again. We're in the 389s, but again, seeing that it's been flat and it was there before, I think personally for me, that is good news. More good news. The Wiki now has an entire section devoted to onboarding, basically. So you have this really amazing stuff that literally you can point a person to and walk them through getting started, literally installing a MetaMask or SafePal, even safety measures. So shouts out to the team for this. This is, if you've been following along, this stuff gets updated pretty quickly. And I believe there's a Telegram group to add information and stuff in here, but this is another really good thing towards onboarding and sustainability of our projects, having transparent locations. On top of this, there will be the YouTube that Forex mentioned, where they'll be doing maybe some weekly updates on the YouTube, and the DAO members are going to get like weekly Telegram chat, VCs, something like that as well. So a lot more transparency and discussions going forward. So to me, that is actually definitely good news. All right, now we're almost going to get into the middle of the shit sandwich. And we're not quite in the bad news, but this is semi-good, semi-bad, right? So the lower the drip price goes, the bigger the impact on buybacks. So I already told you guys that this doesn't have that big of an impact unless people are getting in and out, and there's no incentive to get in and out. But when they do, whenever the BUSD is converted to buy drip, the lower drip is, the more drip you can buy and the more that goes into a tax vault. So that does actually provide a little bit of some hopium going forward. But as I already explained, people are not getting in and out. But when I get into the next part, that's the bad news, maybe they will be coming up here in the near to short term future. So lower drip prices don't look good to us, but in regards to accumulating buying drip, making it attractive for people to get in, and for buybacks, that is kind of good slash bad slash medium news. Now on to the bad news. The drip tax vault has been depleted already. So you guys watching my channel know that I already forecasted this and I was spot on. I said it wouldn't get there before the end of the weekend due to the fact, as I showed you guys, 14,000 drip per day has been the average sell, basically, or that has been minting, right? So we're already down to, this doesn't update exactly, but it says 117. So it doesn't matter what's in there. Anyone that sells more than this amount, it will have to mint those tokens, and it already started minting those tokens anyway. We can see that here on the drip wallet, and the circulating supply, is that on here, a total supply? Let's pull that up. We are sitting at 3.28 million drip total supply, and here 1.769 drip in wallets, or yeah, available in wallets. Now, more bad news. Coming up, you guys all know globally that we have holidays. Not everybody celebrates Christmas, but even here in Asia, the Christmas holidays are acknowledged, as well as coming up in New Year. So the end of the year isn't always positive for a lot of businesses because people take holidays, take time off, whatever the case may be. If you're selling Christmas related stuff, then yeah, you see a spike, but typically all other businesses don't do so well in the holiday time, and I would imagine crypto to be the exact same way. And the reason I'm forecasting that or saying that is because I would imagine people that got in earlier this year that seen nothing but sell pressure, and they may be looking to take profits for Christmas holidays and vacation and do something nice for their family, even though they're not in profits, but they may be looking like, yo, I need to do something. Like I'm getting wrecked, or whatever the case may be. I've been hydrating, compounding every single day, so I need to do something to kind of reward myself, or just I want to buy something nice for myself or my loved one, or whatever the case may be. And the holidays are a perfect excuse. So here in this spreadsheet, I have an example of what a person would actually be at if they bought at all-time highs, and I even went higher than what really would have happened, right? So January 26th was all-time highs. Let's say a person invested $2,000. The drip price nowhere was at 200, but I use 200 because it's a simple number, and that gives us a above average, right? On the native DEX, I think it was 190. On the DEX tools, it's like 170. So saying 200 is very feasible. That means that person would have purchased 10 drip at that time, and they would have had 9 deposited, right? Because of the 10% tax. That means come December 15th, I'm just taking this number because that's a good time to start purchasing gifts. It's the middle of December, why not? They would now have 192 drip in their faucet. They would have accumulated $212 worth of hydration cost. That means their average drip price will be $11.48. They are far from in profit, but they are extremely further away from what they would have bought in at. So this could look attractive to someone who still has a long-term time horizon for drip, but is like, yo, I got to do something for my family or for myself or whatever the case may be. So even though this would not be profits, and they would still have to get 3x drip than they would if drip was at this price. So they have to sell like 3 drip just to get $12. I could see people making this logical decision because of the holidays, and they're still long-term bullish on the project, meaning they're going to continue to increase their positions and hydrate after the holidays. So this is just an example of where I could potentially see people taking profits in drip. So what does that mean in regards to what the drip price could do? Glad you asked, right? So I went ahead and looked at the numbers that we had with the Faucet supply when we had all-time highs, 27,000. You guys seen me do this before. And as of right now, today, we're sitting November at $4.11. 285 days have gone by. I use these numbers to kind of create projections. Oh, well, spoiler alert. So that's basically an increase of 1,686 drip per day. So by December, just using numbers specifically, we would have 574,000 drip. Then this MOE is margin of error, because I think more people would sell than what we've seen selling. Just again, for that reason of holidays, give me 660,000 drip. So that's a 10% margin of error. That's all I added there. 15% margin of error. Now looking at the drip supplies that we had previously, I'm projecting around a $3 drip supply. And obviously that's variable, depends on the price of BNB. If we have another leg down in the crypto market at the same time, then hold on to your butts, because it would get a lot worse. So I personally am forecasting by the end of the year a low at the worst of like 250. So again, you guys come here not for hopium, you come for facts. That may not be what you want to hear, but there is still good news after that. So mathematically, 312, if BNB were to stay exactly the same, but BNB could go up, could go down. We could have the level leg down, who knows? So 250 could be in the cards, and I just want you guys to be prepared for that. But as I said, it's a shit sandwich, so there is some positivity. So all is not lost. Just a quick message, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss another video. This helps bring brand awareness to the channel as well as all Forex Shark related projects. Thank you. Even if that happens, why is that the case? Well, I have a very real use case that shows the sustainability of a project with literal zero utility built solely on Ponzinomics. BNB miner. If you're familiar with BNB miner or any kind of miners, all you do is put money in and then you are literally rewarded based on the number of people coming in and out of the system. And BNB miner is the longest running miner, almost 600 days, a little longer than us. Drip is an actual miner with utility. Now that there's a farm, there's also the reservoir that we have that ensures there's always a minimum amount of drip that it's worth. And it's not paying out in BNBs, it's paying out in drip. So the minting and all that stuff of drip actually makes it much more sustainable than a miner. But the point I'm getting at is that because of this miner being able to run this long and paying more than what drip pays and without additional utility, people still get in and out of this contract. As of right now, it is sitting at $700,000 and it has gone down just like anything else and it's gone back up. You know, and right now it's $762,000, and it's just a literal miner. So the reason I bring this up is because crypto does cycles, and you can see this cycle right here of the miner, and drip is going to be no different. And I believe after all this stuff gets done, we go through the winter, we get into the next bull run, or we solidify spring, we have this leg down, whatever the case may be, the war ceases because there is a summit going on right now. There could be talks. Who knows what can happen in the macro? Then we'll start to see crypto pump, which by and large means drip will have to pump as well because BNB will pump. So all you need to do is not wreck yourself and hold on, but definitely make educated decisions based on that. On top of this, we have the new developments that are coming along in the ecosystem on the roadmap. Now, granted, this is all subject to Forex standard time, but now that a couple things have changed, which make me bullish, he has cleaned up his team, as he said multiple times. He had issues with the dev. We all know who that dev is. And he said that now everything going forward is all on the new team. So that means we should start hitting better times on those. And he gave an actual update about that in here that he said he will no longer give times at all. Here we go. I'm not going to give dates on anything now. From now on, when I give a date, that means all the work is done and is ready to go. Hopefully this is a different verbiage than the everything was 100% ready that we're used to him saying, but maybe he's learned his lesson and that means things will actually be delivered and on time and better going forward. You know, who knows? He also talked about Scratchy and all that stuff. So we have Scratchy and two more products I want to build, after which specifically support the Faucet reservoir. Believe this is the layer 2, and that is hopeful as well. So I do believe 100% when these come out, there will be within the community a lot of ability to support the drip price. Here's the other bullish news basically that I see as well. Right now, all of this that we're doing with drip and what we've been seeing in these cycles has pretty much been the community supporting drip. We get a few people that get onboarded daily, but there's been no real external utility being added to support the system. So in economics and like in gambling theory, this is considered a closed system. So if you take 5 players that each put up 20 bucks, there's $100 at the table. You can never win any more than $100. And every hand that goes on, you actually cannot ever break even because the house is taking a percentage. The house in this case would be the Binance Smart Chain. Every time you do a transaction, you are paying gas fees. So the only way to fix a closed system is to open it so that there's new capital coming in. And now with true utility, with the animal farm, we actually have a place for real capital to come in, and it's not Ponzinomics, it's legitimate utility. The game that he's building adds real utility from external sources. The Scratchies, once the community does their thing and it gets adopted and external people see a way to use scratch off tickets, that adds real utility, brings in more money. So all these things I definitely believe will help put up the drip price in the long term. The short term, yes, it's not exactly sunshine and rainbows. and cotton candy clouds. But if we can weather the storm and you can see what he's building and understand that Forex is a long-term visionary thinker, then you'll be able to position yourselves for that. And inevitably the bull run will be here. And on top of that, remember the drip contract, just like BNB Miner, is an immutable contract. It is written in stone, as much as stone can be for the blockchain. So as long as Binance Smart Chain is here, then drip will always be here. And that means there will always be drip tokens, and you will always be able to sell them at a minimum of whatever the reservoir price is, which right now is about 52 cents. So that again gives me hope as well. Again, just like the miner has supported itself by itself forever, drip has real utility, has a real community, and has real forward-looking ideas that we can definitely do something with. So by the next bull run or by the next big macro cycle push, like I said, something could change in the macro. Any of this will help drip kind of climb out of this hole, and definitely opening up the system, scratchies, the game, all that stuff. So that's my good news, bad news, good news. So I'm still super bullish on it, even though my balance and everything does not look as good as I'd like it to be. And even though, as I told you guys, I see a $3 to $250 range in the short term, I'm not running for the hills. I believe in the long-term vision of the project and what he's trying to build, and that it will be here for those that are willing to hold on. So you heard it here first. You don't get the we're going to the moon like you hear from the Moon Boys and all that stuff like that. This is real hardcore fundamental facts based off of the data that we have, as well as what potentially happens in the macro market during holidays. So all I want you guys to do is be prepared, because that could indeed happen. And if it doesn't, hey, good, right? We're in a better position. So as always, I hope this provided value to you guys. And if it did, please, by all means, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, and live daily and achieve your impossible. See you.